The May 6th Historic Preservation Meeting is called to order. Have we any public comments? Thank you. The consent agenda. The minutes from March 18, 2025. Questions, concerns, corrections, edits?
I move to approve the minutes from the March 18th, 2025 meeting.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Items for individual consideration. Ms. Tate?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here this morning. Thank you to the applicants. Hi, Kirk. This morning, our first item is receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for the addition of an awning above the rear entrance of 325 West Main Street, case number 2025-019H. The applicant is requesting an awning similar to that of Emily's Kitchen, which is on the right. Emily's Kitchen is a single door and this is a double door, so it will extend across just above the double door entrance, not across the whole building. So it's exactly how Emily's looks from what I understand. The signage for 325 was requested as part of this submittal, but was administratively approved. So that is not part of it. So we are just looking at the awning. Shape and everything is the same, as well as the fabric and the color scheme. With that, I will answer any questions, and the applicant is here as well.
I remember at one point when we were talking about awnings in the alleyways, that we had to ensure that the depth didn't extend into the alley.
So
does this meet that?
This meets that, and we've had some discussions internally about, because this is due to the construction and trying to enhance the alleyways, we've been given direction out of the city manager's office to work with applicants to make sure that we're meeting their needs.
Okay. Does that mean we're during this
good.
time period? Okay.
Yes.
Understand.
Would the applicant like to share anything with us? Please step forward.
You'll
Sir?
have to come up.
We're going to ask you to come to the podium, give your name and your address. This is being recorded for.
Good afternoon.
Hi, my name is Bob Graham. I'm the applicant. So Mary's comments just entered a thought into my mind. The plan on the graphics is, once this awning is approved, working with my retail tenant and then talking about what needs to be on there. So is that going to require a second approval before that awning?
I can administratively approve that if you choose to add the graphics onto the awning, but since that was not part of this application, I didn't take that into account. He did apply separately for vinyl window graphics for the door.
Right.
So that's already been approved.
And there is guidance for what can be on the awning, just so you know.
So I just want to make sure I understand. So you can administratively
Yes,
approve that?
just
So
let me
once
know.
we have the design, I'll
Yep.
turn it in?
If he wants to add the letters or the name onto the awning, just let me know. Or
Okay.
let Donna know, and she'll put you in contact.
And there's guidance on colors and things like that. Where can I find that information?
There's a thing called the design guide for this. Alleyways are not really all that. There is guidance for what could be on it, names, not logos, not advertisements, things like that. So what you see there is the example that you brought is pretty much it.
Okay, all right. That's all my questions.
Thanks, sir. And just for
Thank
the
you.
record, your address?
My personal address or the building address?
Your address.
351 Lakeview Drive, Denison, Texas.
Thank you, sir.
Comments, questions, concerns? Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the request for a certificate of appropriateness for the addition of a, let me get to the right spot, for the awning at 325 West Main Street.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item, Ms.
Item 4B, receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on a request for a certificate of appropriateness for the addition of a single entry side door at 500 West Main Street and Fannin Street, case number 2025-025H. This is a request for 500 West Main Street. It is a corner location, as you all are aware of. This building is a contributing building to the historic district, with that glass facade being put in around 1961 or so. The building went through a number of alterations prior to that, and so this does date back to that period. What we're looking at is the Fannin Street side, and so the glass does continue down the Main Street side. The applicant is requesting to add a single commercial door, aluminum and glass, consistent with the materials that are already in place there, to allow for a second retail access entry in preparation for that sidewalk being closed for the main entry. They do have rear alley access, but it leads into the freight elevator, and that is not something that staff or the building official or the fire marshal would like people to be using for safety reasons. And so I am recommending approval of this addition of the door. It can be reversed, that alteration, should it need to be. And the applicant is here, and I'm here for any questions.
Did you say it can be reversed?
It could be reversed,
okay.
right? We can always change put the glass back in.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was already a request, like it's
No,
not, okay.
it was not requested. I'm just stating that it could, if
That's fine.
you should feel that it has an adverse effect to the facade
Gotcha.
in any way,
Gotcha.
it could be reversed.
Thank you.
I'm CJ Reese, my husband Bill Reese, and so he's handled a lot of this with the person that's going to be installing it. So if you have any questions, one thing I just came to mind is we would probably request, and I was just thinking about the last applicant, graphics for that door that would be similar to our graphics on our front door with our hours and just the name of our business.
Okay, that
So-
will be a separate application that we can talk about.
Okay. Okay.
I would just ask to confirm from the drawings, that door will now be part of what is that second pane of the windows that would be on the south side.
That's correct, yeah. And I put it oriented that way because it's better anchorage on that jam side. I actually thought it'd be easier for people to enter and exit
Yeah.
with the handle on that side.
I would think that this is a contributing building, both in the Roslyn noting it
Yep.
and the National Register. I don't see anything in there that would take away from the historic preservation of it.
Other questions, concerns, comments? Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness for the addition of a single entrance side door at 500 West Main.
Second?
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Are there staff updates?
There's one more.
One more.
Oh, I'm sorry, one more case.
And I am recusing myself.
Ms. Tate?
Yes.
Ms. Avery for the minutes? Yes. Thank you.
You can stay to the end, or there looks like it's not raining right now.
Might be good to make a break for it. Thank you again.
Item 4C, receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on a request to retroactively approve a certificate of appropriateness for the installation of an awning at 323 West Main Street, case number 2025-026H. This is the Emily's Kitchen awning that was installed. The applicant did not come through for HP approval and did not obtain a building permit. So staff is asking for approval of the retroactive approval of the awning. And the applicant, when they do apply for their building permit, will have to pay a fee for work without a permit. This is not the first time we've seen this, so we need to stand firm in making sure that we hold those accountable that don't get the required permits because Kirk and his team have to make sure that it's safe and that it's installed properly with the public walking in there. So with that, I will recommend approval, and I'm happy to answer any questions, and Kirk is here as well.
I can understand from the owner of the business being new. I'm a little flummoxed at the owner and the number of times that he's been before us, not realizing that these are required.
Understood.
I'm happy to see after so much discussion over years that in fact, when people do not comply, they are in fact fined. That is a welcome change. Thank you.
So is it a citation or is it just an additional fee?
It'll be an additional fee. Kirk communicated very well with the building owner and his contractor. So if you don't know, Kirk is a fantastic communicator and does a really good job of holding people accountable in the nicest way possible. So
So we call it an additional fee versus a penalty, correct?
yes, is there an opportunity? I don't want to say opportunity. Could we also issue a citation? Yes. And that has happened on other properties on Main Street, so yes.
I thank you, and I understand and appreciate and accept, but if this is going to be a continuing thing from this particular owner, I would push for something else.
I am happy to do that moving forward.
Do I have a motion to approve retroactively the Emily's Kitchen awning at 323?
I move that we retroactively approve a certificate of appropriateness for the installation of an awning at 323 West Main.
Second?
Second.
Call the question, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Staff update?
Yes.
Oh, we need to get right to that.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. Good morning, Donna.
For staff updates, we've just had several administrative approvals. 210 West Main was for the structural footer, I guess, column that was put at Leapin Littles. I was going to say Leapin Frogs because that's all I can picture when I say that. Leapin Littles. And so that work's been completed. And that was an emergency repair based on how that building was moving a little bit. Final signage, other signage for the three in the middle, and then 311 West Main Street is Monarch Butterfly, and they replaced their front door. We noticed it last week. Kirk went over and spoke to them as they were doing it. However, he can tell you that it was opening the wrong way, and so the fire marshal and the building official had to speak to them about life safety issues, and that's why I went ahead and approved it as an administrative approval rather than bringing it to you today.
Yeah.
If you have questions on that, please let me know, and if you prefer that I don't do that, I need you to tell me that too. But
No, I commend you for doing that, and I think that's in accordance with Chapter 30 and the emergency repairs kinds of things, or things that come to notice from a city entity.
And we had discussions about the color and the materials and things like that. It doesn't necessarily match the windows, but it does. We thought that it does go with the awning, and you wouldn't be able. I don't think if any of us
We would
hadn't
know.
have noticed it happening, Donna may have caught it, but I'm not so sure any of us would have caught it until much later. So, but anyways, it's installed properly the way it needs to be. So.
I have a quick question about 210, and I may have missed this particular meeting regarding their signage. Is that all?
Yes, that was done
Okay.
a while ago.
I may have missed that
Yep.
meeting.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that was taken care of administratively, and then we had many discussions with the contractor on that repair, so.
Thank you.
On that, Leapin' Little sign, they were told that they can't turn it they had the sign from a previous location.
Oh,
And
oh.
so it was, they were allowed to
Yeah,
bring
it's-
it.
Gotcha, it's festive, it's cute.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's all I have for you.
I do have a question about
Sure.
Kirk and his wonderful communications, and I attest to that, and I agree with that. And I know I have been gone, and it's been 6 weeks since we've met. But I do note that, I think it's 513, still has the illuminated sign, non-festive signs, of a guy doing push-ups and a sports gym. And just wondering if, are we still waiting for our subcommittee to talk about holiday lights? Or is that in agreement with our to-be-determined electric signage?
In fact, the subcommittee has met regarding those issues. We had some questions for staff apropos to our discussions. We have recommendations, but we're not prepared to bring them yet. Would you like to add more, Rhonda?
Is it open to discuss the recommendations at this time, or?
Would you like
Uh,
the
I
agenda
do not
item?
have that
Yeah.
on the
Agenda.
agenda
That's
as a
fine.
staff,
That's good.
so
No.
I prefer not to, and that's an
That was
ad
my
hoc committee.
Okay,
Or
just,
subcommittee, but noted, Kirk is back there writing notes, so I think that will be addressed.
again, because I've been gone thinking about other things, just refresh my memory. Are we doing holiday lights, or are we also taking over signage?
So the sign ordinance just came back from legal, and staff has worked on that once already. There's more time that needs to go into it.
Okay.
At the same time, and Donna is aware of this too, she brought it to my attention, we have to be very cognizant, they have to go on the same, they have to be done at the same time on council, right? Because we're pulling a certain section out, and so it needs to go back in, so they have to be
Understand.
companion items. But
Does the subcommittee need to present something to Kirk, so he's got one email or one,
No, I can wait.
well, that Kirk,
Oh, that Kirk.
that, yeah, if you'll send that to me, please,
Okay.
whatever your recommendations are, so
I just-
that
yeah.
I know where to put it,
Okay.
and in which ordinance.
let's create that with,
And I would
That
also
would be
say that I don't believe until we have more information, we're to the recommendations.
Then,
But we
yeah.
would certainly want to share our discussions and what we think is our relative merits and demerits of different
Okay.
approaches.
So from-
We have gone that far.
I need, if you'll send me what you have based on recommendations or questions, because I am under a timetable to get the city sign ordinance done within a certain timeline. So if I need to do things differently and we need to come back and amend HP, we can,
I
I'll
think
figure
just-
that part out.
yeah,
I
I-
just need to get your feedback.
yeah. I just think one consolidated reference for you
Yes.
and for Kirk to just be able to look at it. And
Perfect.
even if we just have questions and their options.
Yep.
To get to somebody of authority that
Okay.
can
And
finalize
as
it.
Kurt says, we haven't met for considerable length of time.
Right.
So
Yes.
we will work diligently to make sure that you have what you need.
Can I give you a deadline?
Yes, please.
Okay. Could I have that by Friday?
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Just, it doesn't need to be super
Yeah.
well written
Right.
or anything
Yeah.
like that, just bulletized questions and recommendations would be
Great.
great.
And we've been taking notes and
Okay.
sort of sequentially done that as well.
Excellent, thank you.
I would have two other things. First one is, thank you very much for the members of the board here already acknowledged. My father did pass away, and while I've been up there once, I'm going back up there for a significant length of time to take care of his house and the rest of his estate, and put him in the National Cemetery. So I'm not sure, I think we're gonna be going in 2 weeks, so I could probably hear the next meeting, but it may be sometime after that. And so the second thing I'm wondering is, I note on the Planning and Zoning Committee, they have an alternate who can sit in. Might that be something we want to consider?
Yes, I don't know if does the bylaw state
They
that?
don't have alternate, it doesn't state it on the HPB. I don't, the P and Z is the
That's-
only one that I know of that has alternates.
I would just
Zoning.
note that that'll put you at 3, the quorum minimum.
Exactly.
as you know, P and Z and the zoning board of appeals have different authority,
yep.
and that's why that's
Yep.
in there, for those.
But we are a judiciary committee.
I don't think it ever hurts to have an alternate, right? You never know what could happen, so that's
Or
something we
even
can
our
look at.
additional person dictated.
Yeah,
Right.
but except for plats and for whatever, the P and Z is a recommending entity.
Right.
Is that something a council member can become as an alternate for us?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
We need to get that fifth person in here.
We do,
Yes.
we do
Okay.
So
indeed.
if you know of anyone that might be willing, and that has the experience.
Well, I do, but he was told that has to wait till December till the next interview process.
Can you please send me whomever that was?
Sure.
Thank you.
I made an inquiry and was told that as well, that it needed to be part of the official timetable of interviews, so.
I don't think that, to me, that should not apply when we're short people,
I agree.
because that just puts all of us at a disadvantage. But if you'll just send me their names, we can make contact.
Is this of significant import, do you think, that we should have some sort of formal meeting of some sort, even by Zoom, to deal with this together before council looks at it?
You're talking about the sign.
Signage, I'm
Holiday
sorry.
lights.
Yeah.
Holiday lights.
So that'll come to you prior anyways, to this commission first, then go to council.
All right.
Go,
So
they'll
we're
come
not
back
meeting,
in.
we're not rushing for that council timeframe
I'm-
yet.
No, I think it's,
I
I think
just
it's,
have to coordinate it.
I think it's to keep it,
Yes,
uh,
they are companion pieces, so
complementary.
I have to
Yeah.
Right,
time
you
it
want them to be
correctly.
together.
Yes,
We're good.
Oh, I commit.
okay.
And as an additional
I can
update,
make, a 1 day either side.
Yep.
Kind of
we
like.
got it.
Yeah.
Saturday.
No. Mother's Day for everyone, that is
Okay.
mother, so.
There's a mother. And as another partial update, several of us in different ways attended the conference, Real Places, down in Austin, and as I've said before, it's one of my favorites. We made some great contacts, I think. There were lots of opportunities to learn about lots of different things. And Rhonda and I sought a sort of a balance of what we chose to learn about. And so, once again, I think that's a great expenditure of city funds to send folks down there. Thank you. Thank you. Anything else? Move to adjourn?
I will move to adjourn the meeting of today, the 6th of May.
Second.
Thank you.